Manzano High School, and welcome to a high school boys volleyball game. And this is something we haven't done before. This is Gene Martinson and Mike Mays once again, and we just finished up the baseball. We came over here to Manzano to watch some of this explosive high school volleyball. And right now it's the Hilltoppers playing. They just finished the game. They're playing Oregon Mountain, which used to be Onyate Knights. They're now the Oregon Mountain Knights. They're in Las Cruces. And so, anyway, so we are ready to go here. We don't have a lineup for Oregon Mountain, but so we just mainly need the one for Los Alamos. So the putting it away is Andrew Johnson. So Johnson gets a set over on the left side of the net, and he pops it down. And not sure what the score is. I think it's 1-1. Okay, they 1-1. They played at 25. This is the same as they do. This is the best 2 out of 3, I do believe. And so the Knights bring it across. Hilltoppers are going to set up once again. Once again, they set up Andrew Johnson over on the left side of the net. And Mike, boy, he's whacked a couple.
Yeah, this is a new experience for me, and not having seen much boys or men's volleyball. But Johnson really got a good extension. This is the first year of boys volleyball here in New Mexico. This is still a non-sanctioned sport, but talking to Coach Joe Palmer, who also does the girls in the fall, and he said this team has come a long way just in a few weeks.
Andrew Johnson again, Mike puts it away. That time they tried to block it, but they weren't able to bring it back. So right now that should make it, I believe, 4-1. Hilltoppers up, and Hilltoppers still serving for the Hilltoppers right now will be Ben Siegler. And so the Hilltoppers pouring it on right now after losing the first game 25-18. There's an ace serve. This time comes from Siegler. So Ben Siegler with an ace. And this is like Mike says.
4-1.
So right now it's 4-1. Los Alamos up 4-1. Another ace from Ben Siegler. Wow. So Siegler now with the ace, and so we're going to have a timeout taken by Oregon Mountain. And so Mike gives opportunity for you to tell them all about this. What's going on with boys volleyball, and is it a club or what? Is it going to get better?
Well, that's an interesting question, but actually, it has been a very successful first year for boys volleyball around the state of New Mexico. Again, a non-sanctioned sport. The New Mexico Activities Association requires a minimum number of schools to participate to consider it an actual sport. And I believe that number, if I'm not mistaken, is 12. We've got about 8 or 9 so far right now, but that's a good start for New Mexico basketball or New Mexico volleyball right now. And so there is a sanctioning requirement, several sanctioning requirements, but at some point, like I said, off to a good start so far. At some point, we very well may see boys volleyball as a regular competitive sport in the state of New Mexico.
Yeah, that's the way soccer started, and they were a club bunch, and Lou Turnerchuk got them going, and then they had girl wrestlers were going out. They were actually wrestling on the boys teams, and they finally decided to have a little experiment. So one year, about a couple of years ago, they decided to have a girls tournament or a girls turnout for the state tournament, and they came out in droves So now girls wrestling is a sanctioned sport. So I imagine my guess would be it's going to be the same thing as the volleyball is a popular sport, and I'm sure that we're going to have plenty of boys who are going to be interested. So Tony Colossi right now puts it down for Los Alamos, and they got it up to him right on the top of the tournament. So serving right now is going to be Andrew Johnson, and he was a terror up on the front of the net. And the Hilltoppers, they get it over this time to Edward to Ewan Arnold, and his shot is blocked. So
pretty good play across the net there by the Oneonta or the Oregon Mountain players. Like I said, we do not have names for those gentlemen. It's still some organization needs to happen, obviously, but that's all right. Like I said, we're just burgeoning here. And ball drops in harmlessly onto the topper side. It looks like there's a little miscommunication there.
Campfire. Yeah, the ball just came in. They all stood around and watched it. So serving now for Oregon Mountain, and almost an ace, but boy, a great save that time by Ben Siegler. And so the Hilltoppers, once again, it comes down one. The ball came across, it was low. Ben Siegler dove to the floor, saved it, got it. They got it over the net. And then Johnson came back with the same thing. Very, very low, Siegler. And so right now we're looking at the score right now is 8-5.
Timeout for Los Alamos here. Los Alamos actually up 8-1 at one point, but Oneonta's gone on a little bit of a run. Oneonta, actually, both teams look like they're approximately equal in size. Actually, Oneonta might have a slight height advantage, but Los Alamos looks at this point like the much more polished team. Oneonta, however, by the way, did take that first set by a score of 25-18. Los Alamos was up pretty well throughout most of the set up until the end, and things just kind of started to go south for them toward the end of the set.
Yeah, they kind of fell apart, and so it all comes down to the Ongachi with the Oregon Mountain with the serve, and the Hilltoppers return it, and no return by the Knights as they slam it into the net. The Hilltoppers serving, and there's a block by the Hilltoppers, and it stays in. So they block right up at the net by. Oh no, I guess we're gonna
no,
say
it did. It actually went out. It
didn't stay in.
It did sneak out.
Got so many lines here; it's kind of hard to figure out.
There's a lot of lines. This is a multi-use facility as we get an ace from Oneonta. So 9-7 the score right now in the second set, or 7-9, excuse me. But Oneonta are. I'm going to mess that up all game. Oregon Mountain with a side out and promptly bang it into the net.
So an ace from Oregon Mountain. So now dropping back to serve for Los Alamos will be Tony Colossi. So Colossi will serve.
Colossi looked really good in that first set, by the way. He's mostly a frontline player, but he's serving right now.
Another campfire.
Yeah, a little more miscommunication there. 10-8 the score. And the Knights with the side out. So
the Hilltopper served, and it came back, and then a simple return by Oregon Mountain should have been easily played by Los Alamos, and this time Los Alamos sets up the serve. The serve almost got away from him, but then Troy McKaylee, I mean, they got it to him, and boy, did he power that thing down. So right now, Mike, what are we looking at? 11
to 8 right now, and that one goes out of bounds, untouched. So the Toppers pick up a 12-8 lead. I thought that actually hit the net anyway, but it is of no consequence.
So the double block by Ben Siegler that time, and Troy McKaylee, and So then that was not returned. Blocked at the net by Yaki. Hilltoppers dink it over and then diving for it. And this time was from Oregon Mountain, and he dove for it. He got it, but then he actually punched it out of bounds over the end line. So the Hilltoppers are up on this one. Another attempted block at the net, and this time it's by the same gentleman, Ben Siegler and Tony Milwaukee, but not successful this time. What's the score, Mike?
Now we're looking at 9-13 in favor of the Toppers, with the side out going to Oregon Mountain.
So there's a block at the net by Oregon Mountain, and then a hard shot, boy, great dig out by Los Alamos as the Hilltoppers put it in. Oregon Mountain somehow saved that one, and then the ball almost hits the ceiling as they return it. Another, they put it up at the ceiling again. It this one floats over the end line, but
I think we're gonna have a net foul on the Knights. I think that's what they ultimately called.
So serving for Los Alamos right now will be Lenny Zoa. Lenny into the net. And so they'll make it side out now for Oregon Mountain. Oregon Mountain will drop back and serve. And so I'm not sure. I believe this should be 2 out of 3. But,
well, we're going to find out.
Yes, we will. So the Hilltoppers get it up to Andrew Johnson, and then he turns around and he sets Tony McKaylee, and McKaylee with a hard shot comes down in the middle of the court, and that makes it now. And so
15-10 is what I've got.
Ben Siegler serving, and this is going to go long. Joe Palmer says it's long.
Well, the
official says it's not.
He says it was touched. I did not see it get touched, but these are I think these are just volunteers that kind of came out of the crowd officiating this kind of contest. Kind of get what you get, unfortunately. Well, I mean, that's fine. That's somebody's got to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When Oregon Mountain brings it across, it's picked up by the Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers have a libero, Shin Khalsa, and the ball comes to him on the back, right at the back line. He tries to bring it across, and he ends up knocking it out of bounds. So we have a side out over to Oregon Mountain once again. And boy, a short serve. Hilltoppers finally do get it over to Shin Khalsa. Khalsa brings it across, and then a great double block at the net that time by Ewan Arnold, and along with Tony McKaylee. So they bring it back over, and then the Hilltoppers once again trying to get that block going. It goes over, and this time they're going to set up Andrew Johnson. Johnson powers it across. A great rally this time going on between both these teams. Boy, they're hustling all over the place. And they get it to Johnson once again. His hard shot is picked up easily by Oregon Mountain. Get it over to Ewan Arnold, and then Arnold puts it right in front of the back line. Boy, that was a great rally.
That really was, and a lot of big pickups there on both sides. And a couple of them, I don't know how they pulled them out, but they were able to do it. And finally, Toppers get the point. They're up 16-12 right now. Timeout by the Oregon Mountain Knights. And actually, I was just in Las Cruces about a week ago, Gene, and if you've never seen the Oregon Mountains, if you've never been down that way, boy, they are pretty cool.
Oh, all right.
So they are named I do not get this, but they are named after a pipe organ.
Oh, is
That's
right?
what it's called. That's where their name comes from, a pipe organ. I always thought they were like kidney shaped or something like that. No, that is not what it is.
The Hilltoppers are serving, and so the Shin Kalsa, he serves. So the libero, he serves it into the net, and so side out goes to Oregon Mountain, and the Hilltoppers have had a lot of trouble with it and cannot return it. They had a great block at the net by the Knights, and so the Knights serving once again. So side out goes to them. They will serve, and just barely clears the net, digging down for Los Alamos, and they finally get it over now to Ewan Arnold. Arnold's able to bring it across. Arnold is now going to set up Colossi. Colossi slams it across, but whoa, what a fantastic play there. As, that looks like it was in for sure, but boy, Ewan Arnold, I mean, I don't know how he dug that thing out, but he did.
Wow. Wow, crazy pickups there. I don't know. I have no idea how Arnold got to that. Anyway, the ball goes across the net, and the Knights just kind of snuck it back across the net, and it hit right in the coffin corner there, the short coffin corner, and they pick up the point. Boy, these teams are very, very well matched here. 16-15 right now as Los Alamos takes a timeout. So now this way could go in. This one could go either way, but so Las Cruces is known mostly for its high school football and things like that. We got a couple of guys that clearly played football on that side.
Oh yeah,
they got one guy. He's massive,
yeah.
And a couple other guys as well. But boy, I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the athleticism we're seeing here.
Oh yeah,
both sides. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, it really has. The side out goes to Oregon Mountain. They will serve. They're down by 16-15 to the Hilltoppers in game 2. They won the first one, and the Hilltoppers once again campfire.
Boy, oh boy, and that's with a team playing its first time around. First year around, there's going to be some communication problems, and we've seen that a few times here. Is the return by Los Alamos is errant, and Oñate takes the lead, or Oregon Mountain, excuse me, takes the lead. 17-16 is what I got. We cannot see the scoreboard, by the way, from where we're sitting.
Tony Colossi, let's see, that was Tony Colossi just put it across for Los Alamos, and that play a couple of plays ago where they ended up with a campfire. We had a couple of the players had some not exactly happy camper words with each other. I think each one was blaming the other. So it goes up, comes to Colossi. All he can do is bump it across. And this one,
it's going to go wide. The Toppers are saying that was touched, but the officials don't agree. I actually did not see a touch on there. I think that was probably the right call.
I didn't either. I thought that was him at Oregon Mountain. Now is taking the lead. It's Tony Colossi. Colossi's in the net.
Oh boy! And that's going to make it 19-17 in favor of the Oregon Mountain Knights. So they're getting close.
Yes, they certainly are. So they bang it up now to Colossi. Tony Colossi with a shot is dug out in the back. They bring it up to the front. All they can do is just bump it across. Hilltoppers can set something up here. And he's just slamming it down that time with Arnold. picked up nicely by the Knights. So the Knights just once again bump it across, and that gives Los Alamos a golden opportunity to put it in. And boy, that shot by Lenny Zoa. Boy, it was a powerful shot over into the corner on the right side, and I do believe that tie it up.
Well, according to my score, Oregon Mountain's still up by 1. Now they're up by 2 after the serve goes straight into the net.
Yeah,
so, but we are seeing some interesting stuff here. We're seeing, a decent flow by Los Alamos. We're seeing, some decent skill sets. That was a very hard serve that went off of one of the toppers.
Yeah,
wow, that had some steam on it.
Yeah, it went off one of the toppers trying to put both hands under, both fists under together, and that thing actually hit the wall. So once again, the Hilltoppers came very close to the net, and one of the Knights went up and right at the top of the net. He was able to flip it across, just a little touch, but Los Alamos was able to recover, and so they got it back up. But when they tried to bring it across, they just didn't have much. They just weren't in any great position, didn't have any leverage. They just tried to get it back over the net, and so the young man who had just flipped it over the net, he just flipped it back over the net again.
Wow, and that's not an easy skill to acquire, actually. But really, the boys on both sides, they're showing me something. These are not. I gotta be honest, I was expecting a bunch of jungle ball today, and not so much.
No, not at all. Lenny Zola brings it across for Los Alamos, and so now they're going to set up Tony Colossi. Colossi saying it's in.
Well, the initial indication was in. And then the official apparently on the far side apparently changed their call. I thought he got the back line.
So did I, and the line judge, Hilltoppers almost lost it there, and so they were able to get it around. They dug it out, and a great job that time by Kellen Bernstein to dig it up and get it up to front, and so he actually kicked it up with his foot, which is legal.
That is legal. I did not know that until very, very recently that was legal, but that is legal.
Yeah, it's I guess essentially you can hit it with any part of your body except for hands. So this is going to be long.
That was very close.
Yes, it really was, and so
I got 20. Well, no, I screwed that up. I think I've got 22-21 now.
Hard shot by the Oregon, picked up by Colossi in the back line, and now Lenny Zoa pushes it across with two hands, and the long shot comes over. Now they're going to set up. Oh, and a good chance to set up that time, Tony McKaylee. But then there's a double.
No, they're going to say that was out of bounds. Unbelievable.
Well,
they said the block was out of bounds. That was a heck of a block there. I think it was Michaela. Was that who?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to say it went out of bounds. That was very, very close. I'm not sure it did.
No, it really didn't, and so.
That is going to do it. So Oñate wins this one 25-21. Take set number 2, and I guess that's it. That was boy, a couple of tough calls there on Los Alamos' side.
Yeah.
Again, these are not in any way, shape, or form regular officials or anything. So they just they're doing the best they can. That's not and we've seen some questionable calls by regular seasoned officials. So
Oh yeah.
but you kind of get what you get here, which is okay. We appreciate the volunteers giving it their best, and actually it wasn't the worst It was not the worst officiated volleyball game I've ever seen. To be perfectly honest with you.
No, it isn't, and everything. So,
but
this was the final match of the day for Los Alamos.
Yeah, this was the consolation final. So Los Alamos will take 4th place in this tournament. And actually, a pretty sizable tournament here at Manzano. And so not too bad, but Oñate wins this one 25-18, 25-21. And I got to say, though, Gene, like I said, coming in, I thought we were going to see a bunch of PE level, physical education level, recreation volleyball, and that was not the case.
No, we got some kids there's some really, really good athletic kids. There's some fantastic athletic moves and great volleyball players doing a great job of really digging out some really difficult shots by Oregon Mountain, but the Hilltopper was able to come up with them, and had a couple of kids that were, the strikers that were just, powering them down when we first got here. My golly, it was Ben. Let's see who was. Oh, that was Troy McKaylee, and but actually it was Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson was set up over on the left side of the net. And boy, I'm telling you, that was in the first game. And so while we were preparing and trying to get ready to go here, we were watching that. And Andrew Johnson, they couldn't stop him. Every time they set him up, it was, every time they set him up, he just banged it down. But then, and it was a pretty close game. Los Alamos was leading, as Mike said. And then while we were doing our paperwork and all that kind of stuff, the next thing we know, we find out that Hilltoppers lost by 7, and we couldn't figure that out because we weren't able to watch that part of it.
I think they were up like 12-5, 12-6 at one point, and it looked like they were kind of cruising, and then obviously Oñate made Oregon Mountain rather made a nice comeback, and were able to pull out the first set, and then took the second set as well. But I gotta say, there was a lot of good stuff we saw. There was a good passing was much better than I ever thought it would have been. They were setting up good shots, and they were taking some big swings. I was very impressed with the elevation at the net by both teams too. But Johnson had a couple of big extensions, as did Lenny Zhao. Well, and Tony Galassi, number 16 for the Toppers, in case you're wondering, he seemed to be kind of the funnel through which everything went, and he had a solid first game. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the second game. I think they were keying on him a little bit. Oregon Mountain was, but we saw some good stuff here. I was actually very impressed, considering, to be perfectly honest, my expectations weren't very high, but. No, I think we saw some interesting stuff here. This was not bad volleyball that we watched.
No, and I didn't know what to expect, but I was kind of like you. I didn't think I thought, well, it wasn't the teams weren't going to be as athletic as they turned out to be. Like Mike said, it's because of just a lot of kids that interested in playing volleyball. Of course, the other thing too is that there is no volleyball program per se at Los Alamos or around the state. So they're trying to get this boys volleyball going. So I can imagine there's a lot of kids that would be very interested in boys volleyball.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, if you're not in tune with that, you can contact Joe Palmer at the high school. I'm sure he'd be lucky. He'd be very happy to have a little chat with you if you're a high schooler interested in this sort of thing, and that is that's fantastic. We've known Joe for many years. He is very open. He's very easy, very approachable, except during the games.
Yes.
Do not go bother him during a game.
No.
We have seen he coaches the girls as well, and we have seen him get in some girls' faces when he's had to.
Yeah, it's a real Jekyll and Hyde. I'm telling you.
Yeah, right now he'll be the most serene guy you ever met. Just do not speak with him during games.
No,
you don't want any part of that.
No, you certainly don't. Anyway, so anyway, I'm glad we were able to at least make it over here and do one game. We of course had got that first game up at Academy. We had to finish that one up, and then we went and got a bite to eat. And then,
all right.
Oh. All right. Well, actually, joining us right now, Coach Joe Palmer. Thanks for talking to us, Coach. So, tell us a little bit about boys volleyball. We were discussing it a little bit. What was kind of the origin of this, and then how did you get involved? I mean, obviously you do the girls once in a while, I guess. So.
Well, it was 2 years ago it got started, and we just didn't get in on the first season just because of how our spring break fell and getting tryouts and everything that we needed done. And we had a huge interest in it. So this year we definitely wanted to be in it. There's 19 teams around the state, and pretty much we compact the season into like 6 weeks. So it's almost treated like club. Currently, it's not an NMAA sanctioned sport. I believe it's an activity. Greg with Sandia has been working really hard and lobbying for it. Hopefully in the next 2 years or so, it'll be an actual NMAA sanctioned sport. And I think there's a big need for it. I mean, we had 17 guys on our team. We probably could have had more, probably could have had a JV team. We just didn't have the capacity or bandwidth that we thought to give them all the attention that we had needed to do that. And I think there's a good need within the state right now.
Oh yeah, we've seen that, and obviously, I mean, just obviously a very high level, men's volleyball, pretty, actually pretty high profile, turning into a very real high profile like Olympic sport and things like that.
Absolutely,
and yeah, I mean. Really didn't know what to expect coming in here, but a lot of guys. And so the scouting report coming into the season was things were a little rough, a little shaky. There was a lot of fundamentals that kind of had to be taught. What was your take on the beginning of the year and then up till now?
Well, I think we're pretty honest. We just got done talking about Coach Paslak and I and Coach Sophia and Coach Gabby. I mean, it's just been. We had one guy, I believe Lenny, who actually played organized volleyball. So the other 16 had really never played organized volleyball. So understanding the rules, understanding technique, it was different. I think I was asked that too, is what's different between our girls program versus the boys program. Well, most of those girls have been playing since they were 7 years old, 8 years old. They understand the game. They understand the fundamentals. They understand the strategy of the game. These guys are learning all of that, and they have to cram it all in 3 practices a week, 2 hours instead of 5 practices a week, 3.5 hours that we get, just because we didn't treat it the same way. And then some of them had jobs, some of them had classes, some of them, I mean, we've got 3 of them in ballet. We've got 2 that run track. We're splitting our pool between other sports, which we're fine with, but then getting them all on the same page. was a little bit rough at the start, but we just got done telling them. I mean, they were talking about calls and things going on in the court that they probably wouldn't have even had a clue about 6 weeks ago. So their volleyball IQ is increasing. They're understanding the game. We have some really good length. I mean, we've got 2 awesome setters, middle. Shiv does great out of a libero. Ben and Ewan setting. Tony and Troy in the middle. We got a really good group of guys here. So
yeah, and we were talking when we were watching. I think the one thing that impressed both of us was just the athleticism we were seeing. There were some hard shots picked up on. You guys delivered some hard shots. They delivered some hard shots. I saw stuff that would have been very, very difficult to pick up, especially for somebody coming in. And on both sides, Oregon Mountain was no slouch on the other side either. So
awesome.
We saw a lot of good athleticism. We saw a lot of good things really out of both teams. I mean, that was impressive to see.
I think all the teams, I mean, that we played this year, I mean, Sandia obviously is really, really well equipped. Albuquerque High, Hobbs, Oregon Mountain, like you said, Volcano Vista, who we played 4 times. I mean, I think that, we're all kind of rising to that level, and our guys have come a real long way from what they've done, and I'm just really proud of this group of young men. They're great. First time I've coached men. I've coached women for over 20 years, and first time coaching guys. So,
what fundamentally is there a difference, or
I don't know if there's fundamentally a difference. Theirs was, like I said, the learning curve. I think these guys. It's interesting. This particular group of guys, the camaraderie is really good. Lots of teamwork, lots of talking, lots of interaction with them. Sometimes the girls, I mean, their competitiveness is sometimes gets even to the point, where there might be a slight dislike for the other team. These guys, I mean, you'll walk around and you'll watch them talking to the Volcano guys. They're really good friends. The Albuquerque High guys. I mean, it's interesting to watch that, So I just think that dynamic was a little bit different.
All right. So if I'm a high school player wanting to get involved in volleyball, sure. What do I need to do?
Just actually talk to your athletic director and your actually volleyball coach at your school. Some of the charter schools that if they can't even play in the charter ones, like in the bigger areas like Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Cruces and stuff, they can actually go play for the school that they're in the district of, so that they can get involved as well. For us up at Los Alamos, just talking to me and Coach Pasalacqua, and we're going to start structuring the program a little more. So I'm going to use the word again, more structured like our women's program. I mean, our women's program is a full 7-month program, and we really run it hard. We're going to have to take a look at how we do this. I know next year we're going to start tryouts in February. We're going to start open gyms with these guys. We're going to start kind of structuring it a little bit differently instead of like, hey guys, show up on March whatever, and we're going to see what we got. Kind of thing. So, yeah.
All right. So, what has to happen at this point to become a fully sanctioned sport?
I think the NMAA board of directors has to go ahead and sanction it. Like I said, I've been on the emails and stuff. Greg Villarella from Sandia is the one that's really been pushing that. So he keeps us updated, and he's really been the champion for that. So I really appreciate the job he's been doing. We give him our full backing, but I think obviously things that come into play are funding, court space, season, smaller schools that are splitting athletes. I mean, I know when I told everybody in our coaches meeting here, we're going to be starting boys volleyball, I had a bunch of other coaches going, okay, Palmer, so what if you taking my track guy, my baseball guy, we just want to work with them because we also understand that those other sports are really important. So I think it's some of the smaller schools, and we're not way small, but it kind of impacts us too.
Right, absolutely. Talking with Coach Joe Palmer of the Topper boys volleyball team. So obviously a lot of good things are going on. What would you like to see in the next couple of years? Where do you think this sport and kind of just boys volleyball overall, where do you see that going?
Well, absolutely. I see it growing. I think we'll have a varsity team. I think we'll have a JV team. I think we'll have a C team. We have a lot of 8th graders that were already interested. I think we'll build our program. I think all these other schools too. I know Raleigh at Manzano is building his. Volcano is. I think Toby at Rio is. So Siebel is doing theirs. Farmington, Piedra Vista. I think it's just going to grow and get bigger. I don't know how they'll kind of district it out, but I think we will have, a solid program, and I'm hoping within the next 2 years it'll be an MMA sanctioned sport, to where it's being treated just like girls volleyball, basketball, baseball, all of that, so that we're able to, have these guys in a fully sanctioned sport. But until then, we'll continue to do this. I mean, all the coaches, all of my peers, they're wonderful. I mean, we're R1ing, we're R2ing, we're doing the reffing, they're doing the cleanup, they're doing the scoring, they're doing everything just to help these guys make sure that they can play.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it, and really cool.
Yeah. Do you like the spring season, or do you want to go to fall?
Oh, and the question from Gene Morrison, you like spring or fall?
I need spring because, I guess I do get a little involved in our girls program. So yeah, spring would be nice to keep.
So. Wait, when are you going to start that up? When is the girls volleyball program going to get going?
We've already started. We've already had our 2 open gyms. We'll have 4 more in May. Then we run our camps. Then we head to Phoenix. Then we head to Colorado State. Then we head to Pagosa, Cruces, tryouts, and then our season. So girls are already been in the weight room, already doing stuff since February. So yeah, we're already getting it going. We had, I think, 58 girls show up for open gym again. So
not bad.
Yeah, not bad. So excited for that. And again, focus on our boys. Real proud of our guys. Really proud.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coaching.
Thank you
for joining us, Coach Joe Palmer. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you guys very much. Hey, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, this was fun. I like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect out of all this, Gene, but that was a lot of fun, and
it really was.
Like I said, quite a bit better than I think we were expecting coming in.
Oh, absolutely, completely. I mean, I like we talked about, I didn't expect to see the athleticism we had, or also the volleyball skills that so many of them had, and like he said, it's the first time. A lot of them haven't played that much. They haven't had the opportunity to play much of boys volleyball, and like he said, you start off and you got rough edges and you got to smooth those out, and I think they did a pretty good job. So
not bad for season 1. That was not bad at all.
No, not at all. I mean, they look pretty good, and some of the players, I mean, they made some fantastic saves. I was absolutely amazed. So, but anyway, it was a lot of fun, like I said, and what's interesting, Mike, is that we did a softball game last night. That ended the girls' season, and we did the boys against Academy this morning. That ended their season. And then this was the final game of the season for boys volleyball.
So we are just harbingers of death, basically, is what you're saying, Gene.
Yes, we are. Whatever postseason game we broadcast, they're done.
That's the last one. That's the last one you get.
Yeah, that was it. Last chance. So I don't know when we'll be back on the air again. So,
well, it very well could be. Unfortunately, all the way back until football season that starts around mid-August-ish. We will, of course, let you know. Check out the Los Alamos Daily Post. We'll keep you updated on the schedule. John McHale does a great job of that. He does, frankly, way better than I do at keeping track of the schedules.
Oh, yes.
But a lot of fun, and boy, I mean, it had a lot of fun this weekend. Gene, just unfortunately, just didn't quite go the way we were hoping it would.
Yeah, it was an entertaining weekend. I really enjoyed it, and 3 different sports, and like you say, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun broadcasting, and like some people, we got comments that how do you do it when you're down 19-7 or something? But anyway, it's a fun thing. We love doing it, and so it's pretty easy to to stay interested. We usually don't just finally say forget it and then start like a lot of these guys and then start talking about their last camping trip or something. And, forget about the game.
Well, to be fair, sometimes there are games with that's way more interesting. It's like, did you see that rainbow trout I caught? That was a monster.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's been a great season so far, Mike. I really enjoyed broadcasting with you as always, and I think we work well together. And almost everybody I talk to or we get comments from, it's the same way. They enjoy us broadcasting together, and well, I think we got a good team here.
I think we do too. And Gene, as I'm sure all the listeners know, Gene Mortensen, the Hall of Fame New Mexico broadcaster, and just the absolute pleasure to work with you, Gene. It's great, and the best part about all of this is we just have a ton of fun. You, me, John, Nate Limback when he can join us, and then we just have a blast doing this.
Oh yes, oh absolutely, it is really fun, and we try to make it fun, and we try to have a good time, and we try to give you a good professional broadcast, but at the same time, we try to make it fun and entertaining. So it's and it's something we really do love to do. So this is where the part of it, if you want to say, is that I hate the most, when our last broadcast, because sometimes, like Mike says, we may not be on the air again until sometime in August. So, and then somewhere around August 1st or so, I get really itchy and ready to go. So, anyway, Mike, we'll see how things go. And if we don't, we'll enjoy your summer and all that kind of stuff.
Well, thank you, Gene. I don't. At this point, I've got a wedding to go to in June. Other than that, I have absolutely no plans whatsoever. So I guess we'll see. I guess let's see where I end up. What's any plans for summer for you, Gene?
No, nothing. No, nothing special. We usually try to. I always used to try to travel in April and October, but haven't been able to do that lately, and COVID kind of puts a damper on it a couple of years ago. But so trying to I'd like to get that going again. I don't like to travel that much in the summer, but April and October, so it's all gone. But we don't have any definite plans right now, and don't have anybody getting married. I do have a grandson that's engaged, but you know how it is nowadays. You hear, yeah, we're engaged. And when you're going to get married? Oh, in about 3 years.
Yeah, you really don't know. But hey, everybody on their own timeline, and good to know. Like I said, the wedding I'm going to is my cousin's actually, and he's already 60.
What is that?
Yeah, I have a ton of cousins. He happens to be the oldest. I'm right smack in the middle, I think, out of all of them. I think I am. I could not be more in the middle if I wanted to be. But yeah, he's 60, and he's getting married. So good for him. And by the way, Gene, just for the record, I am the smartest and best looking cousin. So just throwing that out there. I mean, just in case, I'm sure somebody was wondering. So
yeah, they probably are. So okay.
But anyway, Gene, thanks again for another great season. Had a blast, and I'm already, like I said, I'm already looking forward to football.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too. Well, thank you, Mike, and for everything and all your help, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're going to wrap it up here. This is Gene Mortensen from my good buddy Mike Mays, and well, we came down here and we did one game in Milwaukee and then 2 games down here in Albuquerque. It was a lot of fun, but all 3 games ended the season, so we're done for a while. So all I can say is have a great summer, everybody. Make it a even better summer. All you got to do is put a little love in your heart. And don't forget to hug your sweetie pie. And most important thing you can always do is just be excellent to each other. Sweetie pie, been a lot of fun. Wish you were here with me, but I do love you. So bye-bye, everybody.